So yeah, Chris, how do you sort of see that one overall? They had some good runs, and you guys had some good runs, but just came home strongly at the end.
Yeah, we were really pleased. We knew what to expect from them. They've been really consistent and dangerous, especially over the last month. And obviously they know the ground better than we do. And although it wasn't a windy day, it's a different ground to the one AFL teams normally play on. Sorry, I might just wait.
No, you're right.
Or should I keep going, Pat? Keep going.
Go now. We're back.
Okay. So, happy for just pick up where I was?
Yeah.
Okay. So the ground's different. And then when they're kicking with a little bit of a breeze early on, they kick the first three, and your really young, talented team gets the momentum. You're on the back foot. So from that perspective alone, we thought it was a really strong performance to arrest that momentum early on, and then play well for the final 3.5 quarters.
Was that sort of the bounce back you were looking for from last week?
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think that's probably the easy answer. We were really disappointed with the way we played last week. But as much as possible, we try not to sort of overreact to good or bad performances. And that was one a little bit out of the box. We'd been good the 3 weeks before that. And we still think in a way that we are building our season. I know there's only 4 games to go, but we feel there's still improvement. And today, I think, continued that improvement. As I said, it would be it wouldn't be representing ourselves properly if we thought, oh, we'll just come down here and play okay and we'll get the win. We knew we had to play really well to win.
You mentioned you didn't want to overreact from last week. Was that a tricky sort of, thing to balance heading into this match? Or?
It can be, because the players aren't stupid, and that they know when they've either had a poor game individually, and they certainly know, collectively when we just haven't got it together. And so I think the key was, we had a few specific things that we needed to arrest, and we did that. Part of that was playing the conditions, and obviously you need to be prepared down here that you might play, on a windy day where the game sort of is up one end of the ground for a lot of it. And it didn't work out that way. And if anything, we kind of overplayed the heavy conditions last week. And it was, and even watching North earlier, it was pretty clear that you were able to use the ball. They looked dangerous going forward, and not saying we took a leaf out of their book, but I think it gave our players some confidence to execute some of the things we talked about.
Just on Tyson Stengel's game, he had some really nice touches, and he got those goals at the end of the third there when North were having a big sort of run. Yeah,
they were really important. North were coming at us, and Tyson's a dangerous player, but even more than that, I like it when he really steps up when the team's under a bit of pressure. So he's a handful, and there are a couple of others down there that we thought were dangerous, sort of deep in our forward line. Sean Manor looked lively again. He's trending really nicely, and Ollie Dempsey kicked some nice goals too. So it's I think every team would say it's great when you've got a super player like Tyson, but it's even better when you can complement a guy like him with a couple of other smalls that at least take some of the opposition's attention.
And just on Ollie's game as well, he had those sort of goals in the first half, that sort of sneaky one where he knocked the ball out, and then that other one where he socketed it through, I think, off the top of my head. What is that? What sort of player is he, and how sort of special are those sort of types of goals to get?
Yeah, so I assume you're talking about Ollie Dempsey.
Sorry, Ollie Dempsey, sorry.
Yeah, because we thought Ollie Henry was good too. He really competed hard in the air. It's confusing.
Sorry, yeah, Dempsey, yeah.
But yeah, Ollie's had a great year. He's been really... He's maybe developed a little bit quicker than we thought, just because he'd come from a long way back, didn't play much footy as a junior, and wasn't as physically developed as some other young players. But he's just got a real feel for the game. And so, especially for a guy that hasn't played much junior footy, his instincts are really, really good. So he's been a real win for us, and continues to be flexible as well. He's, as you said, he was dangerous and sort of opportunistic in and around goal, but he's been playing up the ground a lot too, and looking strong.
There was a lot of talk of, the Rising Star sort of award was, kind of his now, or like he was in the box seat. Do you think that is a fitting sort of marker for where he's at, or is that not something that really matters?
Look, I think it would be appropriate, but if you reeled off another couple of names, I would probably agree with you that they would be appropriate winners as well. It's not something that I track really closely, but I can speak to Ollie's here, and he's just been super in a variety of positions. In a team that's, different stage of the season has been going pretty well. He forced his way into our team with good availability early on, and he's had some dominant games, which, in positions where it can be hard to rack up possessions. So often, the difficulty of the position is sort of overlooked a bit. Sometimes the guys who play in spots where they get a lot of the ball and the numbers in some ways can inflate their performance in some people's eyes. That certainly hasn't been the case with Ollie.
Just on the win, sort of overall again, sort of bouncing back from last week. Is that something you can really build on? 4 games to come, and really sort of get some momentum before finals.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our intention. 4 games to go. It feels like it's just around the corner, but it also feels at the same time that every game you play is hard work. So it would be a mistake for us to look too far into the future, because today was a good example. If we were off, we would have been beaten. And that was clear from early in the game that it was a possibility. And I look at their team and I just see young talent everywhere that every team would love to have in their team. And then you look the next week and say, oh, they're the same. It's just the quality of the competition is really high at the moment, in my opinion.
And just lastly as well, was it Gary Rowan who went off with the concussion?
He did, yeah. Yes. So he went straight into the protocols, from what I'm told. So that was pretty clear. He'll miss next week.
Sure. Any other injuries? Was it a fair few bumps?
No, we had a couple of bumps and bruises. Sam DeConning got a knock to his knee, but was okay to go back on. He just didn't play the last 5 or 6 minutes as a precaution. And my understanding is everything else was clear.
And Gary's okay in the sheds?
Yeah, he is. But I'm always careful not to comment too much, because it's just not my area of expertise. I eyeballed him. He spoke to me and he seemed fine, but that's not a diagnosis.
Yeah, fair enough. All good.
No worries. Thanks very much. Thank you.